Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, before we begin this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video that comes on board. If you want to connect with me, if you want to hear a topic, suggestion, or you have a question, or if you want me to give you my take on anything, put it in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to do so. If you want to connect with me on social media outlets, on Facebook, you can type in my apologies. You can type in Carlos Flores Jr. on Threads, on X, and on Instagram. You can type in at Back on Basics. So let's talk about, or actually, before we begin this topic, I want to thank the 497 subscribers that we have built a community that can listen to different things, learn about life balance, learn about what you can do when you're down and what you can do when you're up, how you can focus on your goals, how you can focus on mind, body, emotional balance. I mean, again, I want to thank all 497 of you. We're 3 subscribers away from 500, and that's awesome. So if you have anybody that hasn't subscribed, tell them about this channel at Back on Basics 9985. Remember, 3 gets us to 500, but we want to go beyond that. We want to make sure that a lot of people have access to the tools, the topics, and they have access to questions. Because I mean, I'm more than open to answering any questions that you all have. So let's talk about the topic for today. Let's talk about putting things together. Let's talk about having mind, body, emotional balance. Then adding adaptation, right? Then adding learning from those around us, the positives and the negatives. Because remember, it's a lot easier to take whenever you learn from somebody else's mistakes or victories than your own. I mean, it's amazing, right? Sometimes you need that person or persons to teach you, even if they don't say it, but they do it, to teach you how to get to where you want to get to and how to be focused in your mind, body, and emotional balance, so that way you can get there, so that way you can visualize your success. So again, I want to make sure that you understand that putting all of those things together, right? And then guess what? I've always said it, putting in the work. Every day you put in the work. Look, I've been putting in the work for over a year in terms of these videos, in terms of these shorts, the micro shorts, the reels on Facebook. And so, but I've also been putting in the work in, writing down my topics, writing down the suggestions that you have, connecting with all of you that leave comments, that leave likes, connecting with you at a higher level. Maybe, inviting you to, if you have any questions, to put them in the comment section. So again, I'm doing the work every day, and I'm doing it the way that I've told you this past week, with humbleness. We don't know what other people are dealing with, and we don't want to slow them down or stop them just because they may think, or their perception, right? The way that they see things. They may think that we are more successful than they are currently successful. It's hard, ladies and gentlemen. We're human beings and we make mistakes and we think the worst, right? Remember, we're negative thinkers from the beginning. And so we need to process. We need to move forward. We need to put in the work. We need to be humble. We need to learn from others. We need to make sure that we have life balance. So that way it can help us get to where we want to get to our goals, to our activities that we want to do and we have to do. And so again, ladies and gentlemen, learn every day by compounding all of those things that get you going, that get you moving. Look, the thing is, that at some point you're going to have to say, this is where I draw the line in the sand, and this is where I take my stand, and this is where I'm going to focus so that way I can get to where I want to get to. And that's what I did with my weight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm at 203 right now. I'm healthy. For almost 50-year-old, I can move pretty well. I'm pretty fast. I'm still very athletic. Thank goodness, because I love doing sports. And so, again, my focus is to get to thousands and thousands and maybe 50,000 or 100,000 subscribers. So that way we can build a community that talks about, goes back and forth, deals with different topics that, sometimes we need to hear about them and sometimes we have to hear about them, because that sometimes we don't want to hear the truth, but sometimes we have to humble ourselves and say, I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to hear the truth and then I'm going to change. And so again, right, by balancing your life, right, by gaining that momentum, by focusing on the positives, by learning from people around you, the things that they succeed and the things that they do not succeed, by making sure that you understand that life, in my opinion, life is a marathon. It's not a race. When you're going at a marathon pace, you're able to adapt. You're able to connect with your support system. Your support system can guide you to where you want to get to. And so again, that's the importance of putting things together, compounding effect, building on the victories, building on the defeats, ladies and gentlemen. Because you know what? I'm so prideful that sometimes when I feel defeated, I just want to get going again, and I want to adapt, and I want to connect with the support system, my support system, so that way I can do it better. And so again, right, build on all of those things, get your focus to getting to your success, to getting to your goal. Head on out there and get it done. Put in the work. Back on basics.